Roadhouse is sponsored by Finley River Towing and Speedy's Industrial Coatings in Ozark, Missouri. Speedy's does all your media blasting and powder coating. Big or small, they do it all. Finley River Towing takes care of all your high-end to low-end towing needs. Call Finley River Towing if you're in the Ozark or Branson area. Tell them the Roadhouse sent you. Today on the Roadhouse, we're going to go over this Warrior heat gun from Harbor Freight. Now, it says it's a 1500 watt and it's a dual temperature gun, which means basically that one side you pull the trigger up to the top, it's high, and on the bottom it's low, or vice versa. I'll let you know here in a second when I open it up. And everybody loves a good opening, a box opening for these things. So, comes with the gun. That's it. Just a box, nothing really special about this. They didn't pack it really all that great. It was less than $20, I believe, and we're going to try this thing out. And as I said, I think the low is on high. The low is when you press it up on top, and the high is all the way down. Middle is off. So let's try this thing out. I've been excited to try one of these things because I've heard it does a lot of, I've heard it takes off decals like nothing. And I am excited to be able to try to take something off. And when I open it, it does say on the box that it's used to strip paint and varnish. I had no clue about that. We're going to try that in this video. It says removing decals, which is what I bought it for. It says it's to loosen fittings, thaw pipes, and more. I am definitely going to try a lot of this stuff with you all today in this video. Let's get this. Now, I bought this Jeep hood not too long ago, and it already had these decals on it. And I wanted to knock them off because, you know, I'm not going to be using this Kimosabi decals. So, I'm going to wipe these things off. Try to see how well this thing works. I start on low. I can already smell the heat on it. This decal's already really hot. Almost too hot for the touch. This is the high. Wonder if it works any faster. Take this off now. Decal is really hot. Yep, decal's coming off. No issues here. There you go. All done. 8 letters in very little time. They're about 4-inch tall letters. Okay, it's about as far as taking off paint. I have no idea if this is going to work whatsoever at all. We can sure as heck try it. It's on a 1969 Chevelle. It is starting to bubble a little bit. I can smell the paint now. It definitely took the paint off in about a minute. It took the paint off. Okay, now I'm going to try it on boots. Now I've been wanting to try this for a while because if you're like me, or if you're in the military, you've been in the military, when you had to shine boots, you used a lighter or you shined them by some other method. But I used a lighter. What I would do would be then I put a lighter to it and go ahead and heat it up and then polish it. So I want to see how well this would work with this heat gun. Now this is an awful big heat gun, so I'm not sure if this is going to work worth a diddly on it. I'm going to put it on low. It's already melting it. So round 1 is already done. I'll probably use this heat gun to heat up this kiwi too. Oh yeah, that worked. Then you can continue to put on your layers. And because I always like making sure that I have that melted layers then now push down into the little crevices and everything, so I can start with another layer. So this worked really well. The only part that I would see having a problem with this heat gun is a lighter. It's really easy to put away once the flame is gone. It's not that hot. Well, you can just put it away. Where this heat gun, you need to watch where you put it because it will burn a hole in anything that, now it's got this cover on it right here, and that's fine. But this part right here is extremely hot, extremely, to where it could start a fire if not watched really well. I had laid it in the grass outside after I was messing with the car when I melted the paint on the car. Well, it had turned some of that grass dark brown and was getting ready to start smoldering there. So I did not think that this was the greatest thing to put. Now if you put it on a car hood on top of it, it's got these little pegs right here that will keep it from rolling around. so it will stop it and it'll hopefully hold it up. But if this part up here touches anything, you know, this thing gets extremely hot. Like I said, it's 1500 watts. So it is done well on taking decals off, extremely well. I went ahead and took a bumper sticker off of my car with it, and it took it right off, and no issues whatsoever. And it had been on there for about 4 or 5 years, so it was a regular bumper sticker, not just decals like I took off on the Jeep hood. So it took it off really well. It took the paint off really well on the car. It took about 1 minute and 7 seconds, but that paint started bubbling, and it took that paint right off once I got the putty knife out. It would shrink the heat shrink for your wiring, and I totally believe it would do that, because that's just what this thing does. Now, as far as well as it's put together, it looks all right. I definitely wouldn't let it roll off the workbench or anything, but yeah, it looks pretty stout. If it dies, I'll definitely give you a video on that, let you know down in the comments in the description. But this thing was under 20 bucks. I wanted it to take off decals. The decals were what I was worried about, and it took them right off the dang car. It took them right off the Jeep. I didn't want the decal on my car, and it took it right off. Didn't want those decals on the Jeep. Took it right off. So this thing did exactly what I wanted it to do for 20 bucks. And couldn't be happy with it more. Now, I didn't have any clue that it took off paint when I bought it. I just looked for the heat gun because I knew I could use it for the decals. Now, as far as the paint, I'm gonna experiment with that a little bit as far as taking off paint, because I've got some other methods where I've done other videos where it shows where I've taken off paint, and it works pretty dang well. This, I would think that it'd be a kind of a slow process. Hey, do you have this? Has it worked well for you? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching, liking, comment down below. And as always, if you ride hard, don't put it away wet. I will say that even though I think the lighter may be a little bit of a safer method, it put like 6 coats of kiwi on this thing within like maybe 1.5 minutes. So if you're looking to get stuff done, I would rather have this heat gun out in the shop and not in your bedroom or wherever you shine your boots at. But maybe you should take your boots out to the shop every once in a while. It does get them done pretty damn quick as far as putting kiwi on.